Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, my name is Chenelle, the owner of 3 Balls Handmade Soap Some More. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this oatmeal soap. Alright y'all, so as always, I have everything out on my table that I will be working with for today. And first up, we have these colloidal oats here, since this is a oatmeal soap. Got some colloidal oats. Also have my thermometer here, my gloves, scale, stick blender right here. Also got some goggles here. I have my small test loaf right here. Then I also have 2 bowls. I use this one for my liquids, and then I use this one for my butters and hard oils. I also have my long spout pitcher right here. Now this clear container, I pretty much, you don't really need this clear container here. I just use it whenever I do my videos. So, but for the most part, you don't really need a clear container unless you just absolutely want to get one. So we have that clear container there. And then I also have a spatula. Now I do like to use 2 of these, one for my oils and one for the water lye solution. So now let me go ahead and clean off my table. Oh, and you also want to make sure that you always have on long sleeves, long pants, closed-toe shoes, all that good stuff whenever you're working with sodium hydroxide. So when you're mixing up your sodium hydroxide, make sure that you have the, you know, all the protective gear on. Your gloves, eyewear, mask if you need to, long sleeves, long pants, and shoes. All right. Now let me go ahead and clean off my table and then we'll get started. Alright, so first I started by weighing out my ingredients. Now I will have a screenshot at the very end of this video with the recipe that I did from Soap Calc. Feel free to change anything or, you know, swap out this oil for that oil. Feel free to do that. But definitely let me know once you try the soap out. Let me know how it goes for you. Alright, so here I am adding in my sodium hydroxide into my distilled water. You always want to add your sodium hydroxide into your water or liquid, never liquid into your sodium hydroxide. And now when you're working with, like I said earlier, whenever you're working with sodium hydroxide, you just want to make sure that you have on your long sleeves, you're in a well-ventilated area. If you can't go outside for whatever reason, of course, just open up a window or turn on like a stove vent, whatever you got to do to make sure that your area is ventilated, because these fumes can be very strong. So now you're just going to stir that. Now this will heat up to about 200 degrees or so. It will be cloudy whenever you first add in your sodium hydroxide. Just continue to stir and it will turn clear. So once it turns clear, you can check your temp. I like to check it. I'll check it once and then I'll check it again. And once it starts to cool down and it turns clear, then that's whenever I know that it's ready for me to just leave it alone and set it to the side. But like I said, when you first add your sodium hydroxide in, it will be very cloudy. Just continue to stir and it's going to heat up. This is going to get really hot. Sometimes mine has gotten over 200 degrees before, but it's going to get hot. So just continue to stir until it turns clear. Now here I am, once my oils had cooled down and my water lye solution was cool as well. I personally like to keep the water lye solution and my oils and butters within 10 degrees of each other. Now not everyone will do that, but me personally, I like to soap with mine within 10 degrees of each other. And I also like to soap with my temps, well, when my temps are between 90 and 100 degrees. Some will go lower, some will go higher. You just got to figure out which one you are most comfortable with soaping at. Again, mine, I usually soap between 90 and 100 degrees. Alright, so after I added in my water lye solution to my oils and butters, I just continued to stick blend until I reached my desired trace. And trace is pretty much when you can take your stick blender and kind of drag it back and forth, drizzle it like back and forth. If the soap sits on top of the soap, you're at trace. If it kind of sinks, then you're not at trace. You've probably reach what is called emulsification, and that's pretty much just where the oils and the water lye solution has like started to blend together. like it doesn't look like it's separating. And you'll see once you make your soap, you'll see like the separation, and then you'll see when it starts to come together, and then you'll be able to tell like what is trace. So, but here I am again, like I said, I'm just taking the spatula and kind of just going back and forth over the top of my soap. Alright, so after I reached my desired trace, it was time for me to add in my colloidal oats. Now here I am just adding 1 tablespoon per pound of oils. Now this right here was just a 16-ounce loaf, a small test loaf, so all I added was just 1 tablespoon. If you were doing, let's just say 34 ounces of oils, if your oil weight was 34 ounces, then I would do, then you would do, you could do 2 tablespoons, so just 1 tablespoon per pound of oils. And then all I did was just go in with my stick blender, or you could have used your spatula to kind of make sure that the colloidal oats was mixed up into the soap well, and I didn't have like any of them like clumped together. So, but once I did that, then it was time for me to add it to the soap mold. All right, now for this soap, I did decide to do a little something with the top. So here I am just taking my spatula. Sometimes I'll do a fork, sometimes I use a fork, or sometimes I'll use a spoon. It just depends. But for this particular soap, I kind of wanted to just keep it simple for anyone that may be a beginner and this might be your first soap. So I wanted to keep it simple. All I did was just use the back of the spatula to kind of just create a little texture. And then I went in with some oatmeal and just kind of sprinkled that along the top. And here we are. Now, I personally like to wrap my soaps. I like to let them, go through gel phase. So all I did was just you can use a towel, a blanket, a box, whatever you want to use. Some people even put theirs in the oven. But all I did was just take a blanket and wrap it up and just leave it alone on my table overnight. Now here I am the next day, and it was time for us to cut our soap. All right, so here's our soap out of the mold, and from the looks of it, I got a full gel. Now, if you're wondering what the gel phase is, that's pretty much just the stage in soap making process when the soap heats up, and then it also like becomes like translucent. And sometimes whenever you use colors, that gel phase will make your colors a little bit more vibrant as well. So, but that's pretty much all it is. It's not really a big deal. Some people don't like for their soaps to go through gel phase. I personally don't mind it, and I don't stop it. It's gonna naturally heat up. So, but to stop it, you just would put it in the fridge or freezer, either one. Now right here, y'all, I did take it back to my old cutter, just for the purpose of this video. So with this cutter right here, I started out with this cutter, y'all, and I used this cutter for a very long time. But yeah, so here I am just cutting these soaps. Now this cutter will give you like the 1-inch thick bars. So if you're new to soap making and you just want to, you don't want to invest in the wire cutter or anything like that, this one right here will definitely get the job done. It did it for me for a very, very, very long time. Now this part right here is completely optional. If you don't have a soap stamp, don't stress about it, or it will be okay. But so here I am just lining my soaps up so that way I can stamp them, and I always put down a piece of saran wrap or cling wrap, whatever you want to call it, in between my soap and my stamp, so that way I don't get any soap in my stamp. And just like that, y'all, we are all done. And you have made your very first oatmeal soap. Y'all let me know what you think down below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving me a thumbs up. And if you have not done so already, consider subscribing to our channel. And to all of our wonderful supporters out there, we love and thank you guys so much. And a special thank you to our Soap Chat members, Gina, Andre, Terry, Rita, April, Sasha, Letitia, Karen, JoJo, and Deja. Thank y'all so much. And until next time, I will see you guys later.